The EKU men's and women's basketball teams are both looking to stake their claim as the top team in the Atlantic Sun Conference, and WBON TV is excited to bring you live, free over-the-air coverage of Colonels basketball. Select games are set to air free over-the-air on WBON TV, including 5 big conference games for both the men and women. For a complete list of games or to learn more about how you can watch, visit the WBON TV Facebook page or WBONTV.com. Sponsored by Chenault Vineyards, Kentucky Public Service Commission, the City of Richmond, Botany Bay, and Davis and Hammond, PSC.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, live on WBON TV Channel 9 and on radio at V99.3, Sports Radio 103.5 and Y92.5. Support your favorite local teams and enjoy the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Also brought to you by Bishop Small Engine Repair, the law offices of Patrick O'Neill, Nuevo Vallarta, and Aero Auto Glass. Now let's go live to your hosts, Michael Watkins and Samantha Burford.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Michael Watkins here with you on a Monday night, riding solo once again. Samantha Burford, possibly back next Monday. I like giving Samantha a hard time. She's not here to defend herself right now. It makes my job much easier with that aspect. But, man, another great week of local sports. You look at everything that took place over the last week with EKU, knee deep now in conference play as we're now 6 games in following those games over the weekend. High school hoops, the Bill Smallwood Classic took place over the weekend. The All-A Classic now begins this upcoming week. It's just a really good time to be a sports fan here in the area with all the things that are going on. We are so excited to be with you here again on this Monday, and we're going to start with some of those conference games that took place this past week. The EKU men and women, now both 3-3 in conference play. We're going to start on the women's side of things as the Colonels were at home both on Thursday and then again on Saturday. Thursday, they were taking on an Austin Peay team that they had just beaten 14 days prior by 14 points. And the Colonels on Thursday, very sloppy play, turnovers, a lot of mental mistakes, just unforced errors that doomed them with Austin Peay, who hung around and eventually pushed the game into overtime. And in that overtime period, knocked off the Colonels. The EKU women's basketball team then dipped under 500 in conference play, but returned in big-time fashion on Saturday when they took on Bellarmine. And what a nice win it was as Alice Recanati, she played in her, on Thursday night, she broke the all-time games played record at Eastern, passing Bria Bass. Big-time accomplishment for her. Recanati may be one of the best, if not the best, player to ever put on an EKU women's uniform. A great career for her, all-time leader in assists, and they just keep adding to her all-time career totals. And on Saturday, she came out and was ready to play. A huge evening for her as she led the team with a season-high 23 points, 7 of 12 shooting, and was also 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And on the night when the team and the program honored legendary 045 EKU women's basketball team and Hall of Fame head coach Larry Inman, the Colonels got back in the win column with a 91-75 victory over Bellarmine. That took place at Baptist Health Arena. With that win, again, now 3-3 in the A-Sun Conference. They are 13-6 overall. What a great season it has been for Coach Greg Todd and his Colonels. And 3-1 against rivals. They're 2-0 against the in-state competition this season. And that win puts them at now 2-1 at the newly renovated Baptist Health Arena. Got a win last Saturday lost on Thursday, a win back on this past Saturday as well. And in that 91 points, we talked about Recanati. The Italian was huge. Her stat line, very impressive. A near triple-double for her. As again, the 23 points. Also, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, added a block and a steal. And the all-time assist leader at EKU has now dished out 5 or more assists in 11 of her last 12 games and is up to now 629 for her career. Also, in the 91 points put up for Eastern, Caitlin Costner added a double-double, her first of her career, a career-high 10 assists to go along with 10 points. And then it was also the 13th game this season in which she has scored in double figures. Freshman guard Liz Freihofer added her third consecutive game scoring in double digits. She had 16 against Bellarmine. And then seniors Althea Kara Angeles had 13 points, had 3 three-pointers in the win. And then Jasmine McGinnis Taylor, 12 points, 9 rebounds in just 16 minutes of action. All 5 starters in the Colonel's lineup ended in double digits. And as a team, Eastern played so much better on Saturday. Connected on 32 of 64 from the field. That's obviously 15%. And for the 5th time this season and 2nd time in its last 3 games, shooting 50% or better. Both of those times in 2 of the last 3, they have gotten wins. The Colonels also brought down 45 rebounds, marking the 5th straight game EKU has had 40 or more of those. And they also had assists on 66% of its made field goals, 82% from the free throw line in that win. Just a super impressive performance for EKU. And now they go back out onto the road as they travel to Florida on Wednesday for matchups against Stetson on Thursday. And then the top team in the ASUN Conference, Florida Gulf Coast, on Saturday. And if you are not going to be able to make the trip to Florida, wish we could go down there, maybe get some warmer weather, you can listen to both of those games on our media partner, 192.5 WEKY. So a big day coming up or a big week coming up for the Colonels, the Lady Colonels, as they hit the road once again, trying to get back in the rhythm and getting back into the win column some more in ASUN Conference play. How about the week for Turner Buttrey? A fan favorite. We've all seen Turner grow up. His dad, obviously, a longtime coach over at Madison Southern. Buttrey had a big week for the EKU men's team. The former Mr. Basketball here in the state of Kentucky has had a big week for Coach A.W. Hamilton. Season high 19 points on Thursday helped Eastern close a 17-point deficit on the road at Austin Peay. 97-90 loss, though, for the Colonels in overtime. Really impressive performance for Buttrey in that game. And then Saturday. What a nice performance for Turner on Saturday as well. Jordan Crawford got a steal off an inbounds pass and then added a layup with just over 27 seconds to play. And that pushed an EKU lead up to 5. Colonels held on to win 72-69 over the men's Bellarmine team at Baptist Health Arena. Following Crawford's basket, Kenyon Gooden completed an old-fashioned 3-point play with 19.5 seconds remaining to keep the Knights in the game. After an EKU free throw, Billy Smith made it a 1-point game on a layup with just over 4 seconds to play. Bellarmine committed a foul before the ball came in play that sent George Kimball III to the line. The sophomore guard hit both, and the best the Knights could do was a last-second 2-point attempt that missed, and Eastern held on to win by 3 points. Kimball, man, this kid's been so much fun to play. We just talked to Coach Hamilton about him last week, and the way he has just rejuvenated Eastern basketball. You know, we've seen some of last year, the way the season ended on that bad note with the conference championship regular season, but then losing at home in the first round of the conference tournament. You needed some life breathed into this men's basketball program, and Kimball has been that. He had 21 points, a game best in the game on Saturday. Also grabbed 7 rebounds, made 3 steals, and dished out a pair of assists. And Buttrey, we talked about him. He was huge once again. Love seeing Turner play well, man. He is just so much fun to watch. He had 5 3-pointers. on 8 attempts, so 5 of 8 from the three-point line. Finished with 15 points, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Playing good defense, and that's something that Turner has really worked on his body a lot in the offseason, and he's been a really good defender this year when Coach Hamilton has needed it the most. That was one thing that Coach talked about last week as well with me and Samantha. Montavious Merritt contributed 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 2 assists. He's really come on as of late. And Bellarmine shot 49% from the field for the game and out-rebounded Eastern 31-24, but the Colonels forced 16 turnovers, made 12 steals, 7 more than they committed on the turnover side, and they also hit 46% of their shots on the way to that three-point win. And now it's a big week for the men because they're back at home on Thursday night. They'll play Stetson themselves on Thursday, and then they're also at home on Saturday. So a 3-game home stretch for the men as they try to right the ship and get some momentum heading into the latter part of conference play. So big things coming up for the EKU men. But again, Turner Buttrey, man, you just got to love this kid. What a great week of hoops he played, shooting the ball well, playing good defense, and Coach A.W. Hamilton really impressed with the way Turner has played.
This was a great win for us. We really needed this. I'm proud of our guys. I thought Turner Buttrey, again, what a spark he's given us. You know, and I was just telling Stotts and Doug, he just does winning stuff. You know, he's the first guy to the floor. We always talk about having 5 voices out there, and, like, he just demands it. I mean, he demands it, and he's growing so much. And I told the guys after the game, like, you know, I thought the best thing that we did today is I think we matured some. You know, I really do. I think we made the right play at the right time for the most part. We made some, you know, we threw away a couple possessions that we got to continue to learn from. But, you know, they trusted each other. Like, you know, we come out of a timeout and we said, well, let's just invite the trap on Tay. You know, let's invite the trap on Tay. Let's let Turner throw it in. They're going to double off Turner. They can't leave Turner wide open. There's no way. So we said, okay, so George's guys got to pull off. I said, Turner, if he does, just throw it to George and let's just take that shot. It's the right basketball play, and he hit the shot. And then I think Jordan Crawford getting that steal, impacting winning that way instead of making a shot was big for us and big for him. And I'm really, really excited for him because, you know, he's been through a lot, you know, and he needed that. So, and then we continue, you know, we're shooting the ball really well from the free throw line. I wish we could shoot that way from the three-point line, but I'm working at it. And the guys are working at it. So, but really proud of our group. And we gave the belt to James and Reese, you know, because one of the things I didn't like about Austin Peay is, and I showed these guys, is we have a great culture here, you know, and we built a great culture. And the takeaway from Austin Peay was that our bench energy was flat. So in the shoot around, we spent like 25 minutes today just working on bench energy. And I told Reese and James, I said, listen, it's your time. And I think the referees probably told us to sit down probably 20 times tonight, and it was awesome. And so I'm proud of that. That was great for us.
Lately it's been, you know, kind of a struggle. Just, you know, we've lost some games that we thought that we should have won. But, you know, I think that it happens. It's conference play, and you know, we've had some, you know, tough practices, and, you know, it's just tough losing. Like, when you put everything into this, it's tough losing. So, like, to come out here and just get a win at home, especially against, you know, one of our in-conference rivals is big. And like Coach said, just told us in the locker room, you know, he thinks that, you know, tonight we got closer as a team and we matured as a team, and I agree with that. So, yeah, I think it was a great win for our team.
The Colonels back at home Thursday. They'll take on Stetson and then they'll play Florida Gulf Coast themselves. Both those games at home. Thursday night is going to be arcade night. I have no idea what that means. On their website, it says there'll be arcade games lined out throughout the concourse, plus a lot of in-game activity. So it should be a fun night at Baptist Health Arena on Thursday. If you cannot make it out, be sure to listen to the game on our media partner, 100.7 The Coyote. How about this past weekend? If you did not get a chance to make it out to the games, you could have watched them right here on WBON TV. Now, due to the streaming contract with ESPN Plus, we were not able to stream the games on Saturday. But for the first time ever, EKU basketball aired on WBON TV 9. A huge deal for us. We are so appreciative of EKU for allowing us to work that out and bring those games to you over the weekend. And we have got 2 more dates as well, February the 1st and February the 18th. And a special thanks to those sponsors who are sponsoring our coverage of EKU basketball on WBON TV. We've got some great corporate sponsors along with Chenault Vineyards, Davis and Haymond PSC. Also, special thanks to the Kentucky 811 Commission, the 811 Before You Dig. Make sure to call that. Also, Botany Bay. Special thanks to them and to the City of Richmond for sponsoring our coverage of EKU basketball on WBON TV. Speaking of EKU, the cheerleaders had a big weekend for Coach Chelsea Hamilton as well. We'll recap that and more on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks. We are live here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Are you looking for a brand new SUV that won't break the bank? Look no farther than Jack Burford Chevrolet, home of the newly redesigned 2024 Trax. Bigger, bolder, more refined, and starting under $25,000, the new Chevy Trax is really upped its game. Come see us at Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond or check us out at jackburford.com to see everything this new Trax has to offer.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Coquedet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Your vehicle's safety and integrity depend on its windows, which means a small crack can lead to big problems. Whether it's a repair or a replacement, the experts at Aero Auto Glass can have your car's windows looking like new in no time. With mobile service available in Lexington, Richmond, and surrounding areas, you can have your car serviced close to home. If you have damaged auto glass, call the professionals at Aero Auto Glass, 866-975-4527.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
The EKU men's and women's basketball teams are both looking to stake their claim as the top team in the Atlantic Sun Conference. And WBON TV is excited to bring you live, free over-the-air coverage of Colonels basketball. Select games are set to air free over the air on WBON TV. For a complete list of those games, or to learn more about how you can watch, visit the WBON TV Facebook page or WBONTV.com. Sponsored by Chenault Vineyards, the Kentucky Public Service Commission, the City of Richmond, and Davis and Haymond PSC. It was a big weekend for the EKU cheerleaders as well as the Ladies of Eastern. That's what they have been known by. Coach Chelsea Hamilton doing a really good job of promoting her girls and getting them to the finals. The co-ed team made it to the finals over the weekend down in Orlando, finishing 5th place in the nation. And Coach Hamilton posting on her Facebook page, the best 2 minutes and 28 seconds ever. The last 2 seconds guide us. This team is very special. 5th place in the nation. So congratulations to them once again on a tremendous weekend down in Orlando, the EKU cheerleading team, and a special thanks to Chelsea Hamilton. We're going to have her on the show hopefully next Monday to talk more about the performance from her team and all the things that they poured into this season. What a tremendous job finishing 5th place in the nation. Again, all these things happening this past week. It was a great week of local sports at the high school level. How about some of the games that we saw over the weekend? The Madison Central boys and girls teams doing big things. The Lady Indians with wins over Henry Clay. I'll take that back. Start with Lexcath on Tuesday. Dominated them 61-37 and then beat Henry Clay 72-51 and then Scott County 78-34. A 3-0 week in 11th region play. That's probably the most impressive part. And none of those games were close. You had a 24-point win over Lexcath, big win over Henry Clay, and then just a 44-point win over Scott County. Central at the moment, 16-0. 6-0 in region play. 1 win in district play over Madison Southern. And RPI for the Lady Indians is 73839. So a 73 RPI at the moment. They are 6 points ahead of Franklin County, who has been dominant for so long in the 11th region. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, we talked to Coach Scott True about the way his team has been playing. They're just dominant right now, and they're doing it in many different ways, many different players taking the lead. We've seen Strader be the leading scorer all year long. Well, over the weekend, Ridrikoff had 28 against Scott County. Brittany Campbell had 21. And Campbell, both those girls have signed to play at the next level at the same school. I think it's Franklin College up in Indiana. But Campbell, for her career, now up to 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 500 assists. A super impressive career mark for Brittany Campbell. What a great job that this team has done as they just continue to find different ways to win and doing so in blowout fashion. I mean, they have had just a few close games on the year. I mean, you look, they had a 9-point win over Pulaski County. They had a 10-point win over West Jessamine. I mean, some of the Rowan County by 8. Very few of their games have been by less than 10 points in their wins. But the schedule will get harder. They will play Frederick Douglass here later on in the year. We'll see them play against Danville as well. But I'll tell you what, things are shaping up, for this Madison Central girls basketball team to have one of the best years they have ever had, and they're already off to that kind of start. Got to finish strong, though. This is right now the time of year where you want to be playing your best basketball, and when you're undefeated, if you look back at some of the teams that we've grown to love, you look at Kentucky. They had that one year where they were undefeated for so long. You might think, was a loss a bad thing? When you've got an undefeated record, you want to just keep trucking. You don't worry about wins or losses. You just keep playing game in, game out. And right now for Central, I mean, that Douglas game is going to be the game where we really find out how good this team is. They've also got Lafayette on the road coming up here on Saturday. That'll be another big one. At the moment, Lafayette is 3rd in the 11th region in RPI. Frederick Douglass is 4th in the region in RPI. So those two games could be a good measuring stick for the Madison Central Lady Indians. Madison Southern, they also had a big weekend, losing to Scott County on Monday and then lost to LCA on Thursday. But when we talked to Kent Miller 2 weeks ago, at that time, it was figuring out how will it be when Hadley French comes back. When Hadley is back, ready to play, what will it be like for her? And Hadley has kind of slowly worked her way back. At the moment, French has played in just one game, and again, still trying to figure out her way of getting back into the rhythm and getting back into game shape. It's so hard. You can practice all you want, but it's a different animal between practicing and being out there in the game when your adrenaline's running high. So, as we said before, it's going to be so hard to judge this team. And it's kind of heartbreaking when you think about it for a Madison Southern team, which has been really good over the last few years when Coach Curtis was there, now Kent in his first season as the head coach. Injuries the last 2 years have really kind of lowered the expectations for this team because we just don't know how good they are until they've played a few weeks together. Last year it was Bailey Hensley, who we knew how good she was, transferred over from Madison Central. Big things expected from her and the team. She tears her ACL in the offseason, never really got right, and obviously the team never really reached the expectations we had for them when we found out she was transferring over. Now Hadley gets hurt in the offseason, and until we see her out there playing 3 weeks or so together with this team, you can't judge how good Madison Southern can be until all that takes place. And now we're in a point in the year where it might be too late trying to figure all that out. So they've got another home game. It'll be at home against Henry Clay on Saturday. That was this past Saturday. And then they'll play Boyle County at home tomorrow, Tates Creek on the road on Thursday. So some big games coming up for the Madison Southern Lady Eagles. Got to see if they can figure some things out as they make their way through the season. How about Berea? Lady Pirates, they got a nice win over in the Bill Smallwood Classic. Berea got a nice win over at Bluegrass United 26-13. We saw them beat Frankfort early on in the week 51-42 in a game that we had here for you on WBON TV. And this Berea basketball team, they're young, but they are so much fun to watch. The two young guards in Plessinger and Sloan, they are fun to watch. They can really score the basketball, and they're athletic as well, meaning that they can defend, and they can also get out in transition. And at times, points has been very hard for Berea to come across, but when they are clicking, playing good defense and turning that defense into offense, they can be a very dangerous team. They've got some big games coming up. They'll play Madison Southern on February the 7th. They'll also play Madison Central on January the 30th. Two big district games coming up for the Lady Pirates to see what kind of action and how good they can be within the 11th region. And then the Model Lady Patriots, Model, over the weekend, they played Robertson County. Now, there's not a score on the KHSAA site for that game, but we know Model right now, they have played some good basketball. They beat Frankfort Christian 41-10 back on Monday, January the 13th. So that was their last recorded game last Monday. And in that game, a 41-10 over Frankfort Christian. You got wins from 16 points from Riley Hunt and Piper Moore with 14 points. Those two players really the two main cogs of the Lady Patriots system. And, you know, with Southern struggling right now, Berea struggling right now, Model, Madison Central, the way they're playing, it looks like the clear favorites in the district. And maybe the front runner right now for the 11th Region Championship is the Madison Central Lady Indians. Over on the boys' side, we talked about it, the Bill Smallwood Classic. It was a good week for all of our local teams on the boys' side, other than Model, who lost to another in-county team, Madison Southern. The Eagles, man, they have played so well, and I've been bragging on him all year long, Kaysen Nobby. I talked about him before the season. What was it going to be like for Kaysen as he takes that next step into becoming the guy for the Eagles? And he has certainly done that. He had 36 points in both wins over Model on Friday night and then again over Tates Creek on Saturday. The Eagles with 2 wins over the weekend, and very impressively done by Kaysen Nobby. They'll be back on the road. Big test for them tonight as they are getting ready to take on Bryan Station. We'll see what the outcome is of that game, but I would expect Nobby to once again put up some big numbers. That'll be a really good weekend for the Eagles. Madison Central got a very impressive win over Whitley County on Saturday. Jake Feldhouse just continuing to put up some impressive numbers in his first season in a Madison Central uniform. Feldhouse and the Indians with a 94-65 win on Saturday. They knocked off West Jessamine 58-39 on Tuesday, and Feldhouse leading the team in scoring in both of those. He had 26 points to go along with 8 rebounds in the win on Saturday, once again in the Bill Smallwood Classic. And the Berea Pirates, how about the win for Berea? Nice job for them. 2 wins last weekend. They knocked off Bluegrass United on Tuesday, 61-37, and then knocked off Bishop Brossart on Saturday in the Bill Smallwood Classic, 88-68. Coach Eric Fields doing a really good job. We talked about the expectations of Berea coming into the year. I thought they had a chance to be maybe the second best team in the district with everything they had coming back, knowing what Southern was losing, knowing what Model was losing, Central kind of being an unknown, but knowing that Jake was transferring in and all the things that they were bringing back. It seemed like Central might be the best team in the district, but I felt like Berea had a chance to be a number 2 team, and on a night if they're clicking, they could maybe beat anybody in the district. So haven't really seen it all come together for the Berea Pirates But as we come back from commercial break here in just a moment, we're going to hear from Eric Fields about the way his team has played through the first 2 months of the season and what we need to see from them as they get ready for that district tournament. That's coming back on the other side of this commercial break, folks. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Are you looking for a brand new SUV that won't break the bank? Look no farther than Jack Burford Chevrolet, home of the newly redesigned 2024 Trax. Bigger, bolder, more refined, and starting under $25,000, the new Chevy Trax is really upped its game. Come see us at Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond or check us out at jackburford.com to see everything this new Trax has to offer.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Co-Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now Steel in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Your vehicle's safety and integrity depend on its windows, which means a small crack can lead to big problems. Whether it's a repair or a replacement, the experts at Aero Auto Glass can have your car's windows looking like new in no time. With mobile service available in Lexington, Richmond, and surrounding areas, you can have your car serviced close to home. If you have damaged auto glass, call the professionals at Aero Auto Glass, 866-975-4527.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
The EKU men's and women's basketball teams are both looking to stake their claim as the top team in the Atlantic Sun Conference. And WBON TV is excited to bring you live, free over-the-air coverage of Colonels basketball. Select games are set to air free over-the-air on WBON TV. For a complete list of those games, or to learn more about how you can watch, visit the WBON TV Facebook page or WBONTV.com. Sponsored by Chenault Vineyards, the Kentucky Public Service Commission, the City of Richmond, and Davis and Haymond PSC.
Here with Eric Fields, the head coach of the Berea Pirates. And, Coach, coming off a good weekend for you guys. Obviously got a nice win over Bishop Brossart. Got a win over the Bluegrass United team earlier in the week. So 2-0 on the week, and then you hosted the Bill Smallwood Classic. But before we talk about the weekend, let's look back at the entire season for your team. And coming into the year, I think, for myself, I had some expectations for you guys and what I thought you could be. What expectations did you have for the team, and do you think that you all have accomplished those thus far where you all are?
We talked about those expectations, kind of before the season started, and really for a lot of these kids, I guess, with this team, it's kind of the first time that we've had those expectations, and I don't want to say necessarily that we've not lived up to them. Our record doesn't show kind of like what we've went through. We've been in some really close games with really good teams, and we've played really well in spurts. And it's I keep telling my kids, and I tell I tell them, basketball, the district tournament's not played in December, so it's all about getting better. It's all about, improving throughout the season. So when you do get to the postseason, you're ready. We came out early. Everybody was still trying to find ourselves. We lost Nick to graduation. Then Cam decided to move there. So we had to, have guys step into different roles and everybody kind of learning the role type thing. And, it's taken a little bit, but, I think, we're starting to get to a point to where we were playing pretty on the same level that we ended the season with last year.
When you look at your team, obviously you've got some guys out there that can make plays for you, and it's one of the reasons why I thought coming into the year that you all had a chance to maybe vie for one of those top one or two teams in the district, because we know what Madison Southern lost. Model kind of lost some guys too. So you guys bringing basically everybody back. You talked about a couple of losses that you did have, but the core of your team was coming back. How hard is it as a coach to manage those expectations? To when you're used to being kind of the underdog, to be like, guys, now we've got a chance to be really good this year. Let's flip that switch and go from being an underdog to being a team that needs to be looked at and respected.
I think that's just, one of those things that, you try to tell kids like, hey, we had a really good season last year. We beat a lot of teams, and play a lot of teams, those same teams this year. You're going to come in with a target on your back, so you got to be ready for everybody's best shot. And I think it's taken them a little bit, to kind of realize that, like, hey, you just can't show up and play. Like, you gotta show up and you've got to bring it every night. And that's just kind of thing, like you talk about this underdog type thing. And in the past, we've been in that position, like, hey, we're going to go in and we're going to give you everything you've got. And, that's kind of what I've tried to instill in kids' minds, like, hey, you're going to get everybody's best shot every night. Because, they look at you, they say, hey, you're Berea, or, hey, you're a small school. They're going to bring it to you every night just because they think that they have a chance to win. It's really hard to kind of manage that. But, we've had, conversations as a team and, conversations among coaches and stuff, like what we can do to improve on that stuff, how we can do it. The biggest thing a lot of the kids mentioned was, like, they've got to do better in practice, and our practices have got to start turning into what we do in games. And I'll give the kids a lot of credit there too, because they realize a lot of their mistakes, and as coaches we realize a lot of our mistakes of what we were doing wrong and what we need to change and how we need to change things. So and hopefully our past two games have kind of shown that a little bit, like what we are capable of.
You had Ethan Sloan transfer back in, and we know he was a big part of this group of kids that were really successful in middle school. What has it been like trying to get him back in the flow and building that chemistry back with the group of kids that he was really good with, 3 or 4 years ago at the middle school level?
I think with Ethan, he kind of just came in and, the kids welcomed him back, and, I don't think he skipped a beat on like that chemistry type stuff. But in the places that he's been, he's had different roles, and just trying to get him settled into the role that I want him to do. And he's been, kind of a really big help. He's a very athletic kid. He moves the ball well. He does what I ask him to do. But just getting him comfortable in what we do is a big thing. And, and I think that, past couple of weeks, he has really just improved a lot and kind of what I want him to do, and learning his role, and he's really stepped up to that, and he's really done a good job.
One of my favorite players to watch over the last 2 or 3 years has been Tommy Banderman. This year he's averaging over 11 points, almost 9 rebounds a game, and I was really impressed with him during that Bryan Station game. Knowing Bryan Station is one of the top 5-10 teams in the state, they've got size, athleticism, just everything that you could want, length. But Tommy did not back down, had a really good game that game. He's had a good year for you. Talk about him and how he's been able to step up as one of those senior leaders when, you've got a really, again, good group, core guys, but Tommy's the guy that's, kind of been through it all already as a senior now.
Right. Tommy, I think I said it before the season, he's going to get you 12 points a game. He's going to get you 12 rebounds a game. And, he's a little bit less with the rebound. He was sick really at the beginning of the season, and I think that really hampered him quite a bit. But I think he's feeling a lot better now, and obviously his play has shown it, how much better he's playing. I mean, heck, he had 17 rebounds the other night against, Bishop Burford. And, it's one of those things like, he's not really necessarily always a vocal leader. I think he kind of just leads, kind of by example. He's a real quiet kid, but he goes out there and he plays hard and he does everything the right way. He's a very intelligent kid, very smart kid. And I think that's what helps him a lot is, he uses that mindset and kind of like it just really uses that to his advantage on a lot of things too.
One of the other kids I was impressed with in that Bryan Station game is McClure. Maddox has played well for you off the bench this season. The numbers really aren't there, but when he's been given opportunities, it seems like he's really kind of stepped up his game. Talk about him. You got Jake Mills, and you get some other I think it was Reed that came off the bench against Bryan Station. You've got a good 3 or 4 guys you can bring off the bench and feel comfortable when you do bring those guys in.
Right, and I think that's really helped us, with Maddox. Maddox was also here in middle school, and, he came back this year, and, he's played real well. It's just kind of the same thing with Ethan, is just getting him involved in our system and what we want to do and what I want out of him. And, we as coaches, we talk about him all the time, like when he's on, and he's really hard to stop, and he's doing a lot of really good things for us right now, especially on the defensive end. He's so quick, and he's shooting the ball really well, and he's kind of finding where it's open, where it's not open, stuff like that when we move the ball, and we're moving the ball good. Talking about Jake Mills, Jake started a few games this year, started a few games last year, but coming off the bench, he's just, he's a really big body. I think it's kind of the same way with him, is it's taken him a little bit to get going here. But now, he's going, and he just goes in there and plays hard. He boxes out, he rebounds, and really just does those small things that a lot of people probably, that don't show up on the stat sheet, but he really just gets after it when he's in there. And then, the same thing with Wiley. To come in there and give Tommy a breather when we need it. And, Wiley, he's a smart kid too, very basketball knowledgeable kid. And I think that's what, he doesn't have the, kind of the body frame that Tommy has, but he's able to use his body in different ways just because he knows basketball. And it really helps us a lot off the bench to have that many guys just come in and be ready to play.
Talked about the 2 wins from this past week. What's been the difference this week? You got a good win over Bluegrass United, Bishop Burford. You talked about the game Tommy had. Talk about the team and what's been the difference this week. Is we've kind of turned that corner, turned the page over to a new year, but now trying to build some momentum. This is where you really want to start playing your best basketball as we near the district tournament here in a month and a half.
Right. Well, we went up to the All-A and we got beat out in the first round there. And, we kind of had, just a team meeting, and we talked about things that we needed to improve on, just different things. And I think that's just kind of really helped. I mean, it's not anything necessarily that we're doing different in practice, not anything that we've not done, from the beginning of the year. I think it's just kind of, just the mindset of the game. And, a lot of basketball is just mentality, and I think it's just kind of our mentality. It was good for the mental state of the game. Like, we just kind of changed our mentality about how we're approaching games, how we are when we're in the game, and just stuff like that, and really just like, hey, we gotta, like, we can't dig ourselves in a hole, early on. Like, we got to get after it from the tip, and just things like that. I think that's just been one of the biggest things the past couple of games for me that I've seen.
So you had the Bill Smallwood Classic over the weekend. I know this is something that's really become an annual thing, and I saw this year you all added a scholarship to this Classic that was given to Tommy Banderman. But just talk about this Bill Smallwood Classic. Had some really good teams come in. I saw Coach Shorts, former Berea coach, came in with his Whitley County team as well, and
Central played, Southern played. So it's some really good basketball. And just talk about the importance of honoring Coach Smallwood, who was a really big deal there with the Pirates.
Right, and we did it. We had a great weekend of basketball. Saturday was great. We had a lot of good teams, and I know a lot of those coaches that came in, and and that's the biggest thing. And this is like you've got to make connections, and and it's not even through coaching. With Tates Creek, I played with Keaton Belcher, and whenever we played on the Kentucky All-Star team, and I know Coach Wright, I know Coach Feldhouse, I know Coach Swords, I know Coach Breeze. We've played them a couple times at Adair County, and then of course our girls played, and on the Bluegrass United side of the girls, Gavin Durson was there at some point, and it was just really good. But a lot of those people that came this weekend too also knew Coach Smallwood, which was, kind of a big reasoning, whenever we, put this on, Coach Smallwood called Coach Feldhouse, said, hey, it'd be really great if you came this year. And, he kind of got them on board to come. And, but as far as Coach Smallwood goes, he's done a lot for kids there, in the past, and he's still doing things for kids, we talk about with the scholarship and stuff. And, he's just, he's been a great mentor to me. And it's just one of those things like, Coach Swords started it, and, going even back to that, it's great that Coach Swords could come back up this weekend.
Are you looking for a brand new SUV that won't break the bank? Look no farther than Jack Burford Chevrolet, home of the newly redesigned 2024 Trax. Bigger, bolder, more refined, and starting under $25,000, the new Chevy Trax is really upped its game. Come see us at Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, or check us out at jackburford.com to see everything this new Trax has to offer.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Co-Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Your vehicle's safety and integrity depend on its windows, which means a small crack can lead to big problems. Whether it's a repair or a replacement, the experts at Aero Auto Glass can have your car's windows looking like new in no time. With mobile service available in Lexington, Richmond, and surrounding areas, you can have your car serviced close to home. If you have damaged auto glass, call the professionals at Aero Auto Glass, 866-975-4527.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
The EKU men's and women's basketball teams are both looking to stake their claim as the top team in the Atlantic Sun Conference, and WBON TV is excited to bring you live, free over-the-air coverage of Colonels basketball. Select games are set to air free over the air on WBON TV. For a complete list of those games, or to learn more about how you can watch, visit the WBON TV Facebook page or WBONTV.com. Sponsored by Chenault Vineyards, the Kentucky Public Service Commission, the City of Richmond, and Davis and Heyman's PSC.
Back here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, special thanks to all of our great sponsors like Jack Burford Chevrolet. We're here in a new year now. And as we start a new year, it's a great time to check out some of the great new vehicles coming in to the inventory at Jack Burford Chevrolet. You can find out all the new inventory and the great used vehicles as well online at jackburford.com, or stop in and tell them you heard about them on WBON TV and the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. They've got some really good deals coming out hot in 2025. Also, Bishop Small Engine Repair. We're tired of the snow. We're ready to get some warmer weather in here, and when that comes around, you want to make sure that your lawnmower or whatever you use to take care of your home is in the tip-top shape. Take it on over to Bishop Small Engine Repair on North Estill Avenue in Richmond. Maybe have them check it out for you and fine-tune it for when the weather does turn warm once again. Or maybe it's time for a new mower. They've got some great deals on some of the best models and best brands at Bishop Small Engine Repair. The law office of Patrick O'Neill, another one of our great sponsors here on the sports show. He is located over in Breathitt County, but he does a great job serving all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. If you need help with deeds and wills, workers' compensation, criminal defense cases, well, Patrick is the man for the job. You can reach him at 606-666-2990 for a free consultation. We're also brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta. Man, Mexican food sounds good at any point of the year. Right now, go inside and warm up with some great Mexican food at Nuevo Vallarta right here on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond, and now 2 locations to better serve you over in Berea. We're also brought to you by Aero Auto Glass. Go on over and check them out as well. You never know when you're going to need somebody on your side, and Aero Auto Glass can be found on Facebook for more information. Well, on Friday night, the Model Athletics program inducted a new class into the Model Hall of Fame. Here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, we'll look back at the Hall of Fame ceremony that took place on Friday night.
Is Mrs. Mary Carol Thomas Tate, class of 1995. Mary Carol is accompanied tonight by her coach, Erman Wirtz. Mary Carroll was a 7-year letterman, a 5-year starter, and a fierce competitor on the model softball team. The first baseman was a feared hitter against opponents, and although teams tried to pitch around her, she still managed to hit an incredible 24 home runs during her career. She led her teams to 3 straight winning seasons and an overall record of 77 and 28 team record during her tenure as a starter. She was named to the All-District team in 1994 and 95, All-Region team in 95, and throughout her career, led the team in batting average, hits, and RBIs, finishing her career with a .595 average. Mary Carroll finished her career with a senior year to remember, where she led the city with an incredible batting average of .643, 19 doubles, and 11 home runs. After the season, she was voted to the All-11th Region team, honorable mention All-State team, and the Richmond Register named her as the Madison County Player of the Year. After graduation, Mary Carroll went on to be an assistant coach for 2 years at Model, and then became head coach at Berea College from 2000 to 2004. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mary Carroll Thomas Tate. Our next inductee is Brent Lichty, class of 1985. Brent is accompanied tonight by his wife, Amy. Brent started with the Model Swim and Dive team as a 4th grader, participating on the Model Swim and Dive team. In his first year ever, he participated in the state dive meet. From there, he continued his incredible run, starting with a 5th place finish in the 1-meter dive as a 6th grader in 1979. As a sophomore in 1983, he claimed his first ever Class A 1-meter dive championship. That year, he was also named to the All-American Dive Team, and this led to his father, Dan Lichty, winning 3 consecutive KHSAA diving state titles. From 1983 to 1985, Brent was also named to the NISCA High School All-American Dive Team. His senior year, his 1-meter dive score of 307.1 has been a model record for over 40 years and stands to this day. After graduation, Brent took his talents to the University of Tennessee, where he was a finalist for 3 years in the NCAA 1 and 3 meter dive championships and was presented with the Ken Hall Outstanding Diver Award. Brent finished his incredible collegiate career by being named to the All-SEC and to the NCAA All-American team for 3 consecutive seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brent Lichty. Tonight, we are also inducting Brent's father, Coach Dan Lichty, and Coach Lichty is being represented tonight by his daughter, Denise Turpin, the grandchildren, Clay and Hannah Turpin, as well as Brent and his wife, Amy. Coach Dan Lichty and Barbara Lichty moved to Kentucky in 1969, making Richmond their forever home. They came to Richmond so Dan could continue his dream of being a swimming and diving coach. When he arrived at Eastern Kentucky University, he was the assistant swimming coach and head diving coach under Donald Combs, as well as the head coach of the model swimming and diving teams. As the model swimming and diving coach from 1969 to 1975, he won 2 KHSAA Class 2A Girls Championships in 1970 and 1971. In 1972, he guided his team to a KHSAA Class 2A Boys Championship. At the KHS2A state level, Coach Lichty's team never finished below 3rd place for the boys or 6th place for the girls. Amazing. During his tenure at Model, 31 of his swimmers and divers were individual and or relay team members of a KHSAA state championship. His coaching also produced 11 high school All-Americans. In 1975, Dan became the head coach of the EKU men's swimming and diving program and added the women's swimming and diving team in 1984, where he coached numerous former Patriots as they continued their college, collegiate swimming career and diving careers at EKU under Coach Lichty. He was a coach's coach, which led to several former swimmers and students becoming swimming and diving coaches at the AAU, high school, and collegiate levels. His influence on aquatics and the swimming community will continue for years to come through the lives that he touched. Ladies and gentlemen, the late Coach Dan Lichty. Our final inductee tonight is Freddie Ballou, class of 1961. Freddie is represented tonight by his daughter-in-law, Beth Ballou, and his grandchildren, Claire and Michael Ballou. Freddie Ballou was a 2-year team captain and standout running back at the Madison Model High School under head coach Roy Kidd from 1959 to 1961. He led his team to a 34-4 overall record in his 3 years as a starter, finishing with 27 consecutive regular season victories during his career. The 5-foot, 5-inch, 135-pound tailback was a 2-year team captain who could do it all on the football field. He scored 15 receiving touchdowns, 1 kickoff return for 91 yards, and 8 punt returns for a touchdown. He scored 9 rushing touchdowns that covered 50 yards or more and led his team to a Recreational Bowl victory, 2 conference championships, a Class 2A state semifinal, and a Class 2A state runner-up. When all was said and done, Freddie's career ended with over 5,000 rushing yards, a record that lasted for over 30 years. He scored 50 touchdowns and was named to the All-State teams in 1960 and 61. His senior year, he was named to the high school All-American team and was an East-West All-Star Game participant. In 2022, he was named to the Madison County Hall of Fame, and in 2016, he was named to the Kentucky High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's honor the late Freddie Ballou with a huge round of applause. The banners representing each of our inductees tonight are to my right and to my left. Congratulations to all of our inductees tonight.
Thanks for joining us here, folks. Looking forward to being with you once again for some high school hoops this week. Do not go anywhere. Some great programming coming your way next here on Channel 9. So keep it locked in right here. And thanks for watching the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.